Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Uxtsuki. Not that long time ago, I uploaded a video in the very first stage of game development that was brainstorming the story that I would base my gaming on. And the video is still in the channel but unlisted. Why? Because I was planning to make not a whole complex game, but a game that would be at least enough interesting. And the game idea that I had in the video and that I later developed in a more complete story was about a magic locomotive that would deliver resources like magic resources across different worlds. And I liked the story, to be honest. I had some characters, I had interesting points in the story. But when I sat down and I started to develop the game in the cell phone, because just to say that I know that I say this a lot, but I'm doing this actually all my best videos in the smartphone because my laptop has broken and I didn't fix yet. But okay, it doesn't matter. I am still able to do the things that I love, so let's keep going. So, I got slapped in the first time when I tried to make something that I was expecting to be easy and fast, and actually it turned out to be harder and a little bit messy to do in the cell phone interface, but okay. And then I tried to make some pixel art that even though my pixel art on computer wasn't like the best or the perfect, I had some confidence in it. But in the cell phone, I think it's harder to keep the reference. It is hard because it's less accurate, less precise, because I do not have a mouse. So, and my finger, it's obviously not pixel perfect, so it's hard to get exactly what you want. And in the muscle memory as well, I need to adapt in order to get the same level. But okay, I tried to make the game normally, but it took way longer, and the results were way worse than I expected. So I got unmotivated and I gave up. When I was taking a shower, I remember my first game that I ever finished. Not the first project that I ever started and did something, but the first game I completed that I passed through all the stages of software cycle that was made on Unity. The game was something like this. There was a bonfire in the center of the game, and you, with WASD, control the monster that by hitting space, you would raise your arms, scream, and basically scare away the things that is close to you, dealing damage and knocking back a little bit. So you had to protect this bonfire. The more damage the bonfire get, the fire would get weaker, the ambient would get dark, and I was really proud of it at that time. The game was based on waves, so there is a wave of slimes that would spawn in different time that would head to the bonfire. Alright, the lore, the kind of lore was basically you were a monster that really liked how the fire looks. The slimes were just mesmerized by the fire, so they would just head toward the bonfire without knowing the danger. So you would need to scare them away and protect the fire because you like it, and the slimes as well from it. and when you finished a wave, you would be able to pick between, I think, five upgrades, but I'm not sure if there was more than this. So it was a very basic game, but I had passed completely from the first stage of brainstorming to delivering and publishing, actually. Cool. I thought, well, maybe I would be able to make something similar to this, even though probably I will take twice as long to make in order to use the engine, and maybe 1.5 times longer to make the art, but I will try to do it anyway. And here is what I got. Unfortunately, I didn't have a story, so I didn't pass for every single step out of the game making, because since I was totally basing off an old game that I made, I think I would actually create a story that would need to be adapted to the game, not a story that I would base my game on. And I think this is kind of bad, to be honest. I do not like take something that is already made and create a story for it, because certain hints, certain Easter eggs, certain character development, and so on, like lore, untold lore, or something like this, would be able to be fully expressed. That's why I don't do this. This is the game. I didn't finish to make the UI yet, and I will expand the number of upgrades, alright? But essentially, the game is what it is, alright? So I will record just an example of the gameplay. I had to adapt it because I never used a joystick. Actually, I never made a game in Godot for mobile, alright? I had made some in Unity, but never did something for in Godot. That's why I didn't try to use. So what I made, the character, the player, would just shot naturally the projectiles, and it will move by touching the screen. So alright, so let me show you. So, as you can see, the game is pretty basic. I didn't finish like everything. I still need to make more enemies, more projectiles, improve the world art, because so far it's just some ugly tiles. Even though I had some basic animations, they are not like that good, you know? and the projectile is literally just a triangle and a ugly arrow. But this is what I got, like, even though it doesn't matter, even though it might be the worst game you ever saw, I still proud of it because, as I said, uh, dealing, like, considering the context where currently I am and the tools I have available, and it's fair to call it a game, and I'm still very proud of it. Like, this is one of the most basic genres. I don't even think there is a proper genre for this game because I didn't had the planning picking the correct genre. As I said, I just copy the old game that I made on Unity, So I'm pretty happy with the result, right? So that's it. I hope in some way this might exhort the those who does not have a proper setup. Like, this is my setup. I will place an image of the smartphone that I'm using. I am to take the photo. I'm using an worst and an older cell phone, smartphone as well. So as I say, this is my tool, and this is what I got. To be honest, as I said, this is pretty fair, right? So thanks for watching. This very basic game will be available in the itch.io. So thanks for watching. I hope this hype you up to make a better thing with your current setup, and see ya. Bye.